So 10.1 brings us to the first reading of our new middle school courses of study. And Jen Knapp is going to join us. Thank you.
And thank you for speaking. We have exciting things to share. While last time the student fee schedule is exciting and some changes proposed, this is a lot more fun. I just have to put that out there. So we've been working, as you know, for the past year and a half, and I think we presented in January. And I want to repeat the middle school aim statement because I just think that it's just really good, I think. And, to have, just under 50 people work on this and, get feedback and have parents and student interviews. And it's been excellent work. The middle school design team's aim statement articulates, every Westerville City middle school student is actively engaged in dynamic learning experiences and environments that develop learning and life skills for academic and personal success. So what we're really bringing to you today are some dynamic learning experiences. We hope, we've done a lot of research, as I mentioned last time. We looked at what other districts were doing across the country. We used data from surveying our parents, from having, small group discussions. I surveyed a student. I also had the opportunity, and I don't think I shared this last time because I don't remember if it had happened yet. So forgive me if I'm repeating myself. But I said, oh shoot, we didn't have a chance to talk to more students about this. And Dr. Kellogg said, oh, come to student advisory or superintendent's advisory at each of the high schools. So I had an opportunity to do that, prefacing it with the aim statement and then saying, okay, knowing what you know now about your high school experience, what would you have liked to have seen? So that was also another layer of feedback that was really valuable. So this is one big agenda item, so if it's okay, I'll just start talking through each of them and you can interrupt me, at any point, and of course, discussion at the end. Okay. So again, hands-on, relevant, engaging opportunities were a focus. That is what we had heard from all of the groups. One course, Choir 6, which is an evolvement from the current course of vocal music. That was a lot more like general music, music appreciation, and we had some discrepancy on kind of how that looked, and we wanted to return it to a more performance-based course, very similar to grades 7 and 8. The teachers had left all of the music standards in the vocal music course, and so it still matches, with some minor tweaks, it still matches what 7th and 8th grade look like. So that's a slight change, and it would still meet in the same way. World Cultures and Music, this is proposed to be a 6th grade course, and in this, students will be discovering how music can play a role in helping us to understand ourselves and others, as well as how we interact in different communities throughout the world. Students will uncover some ways of thinking about music, community, musicians, musical instruments, and how this relates to their lives. This was a lot of feedback from the high school students as well on building culture, understanding different cultures, and we felt that music was a good opportunity kind of as a platform for us. The teachers met, and I've had meetings with them throughout the year. One of the things that they requested, which I think is a great idea, is once the teachers are selected to teach this course, that they have an opportunity to get together in the summer, as well as, because it's aligned to the standards, so all the music standards are there. They did remove, I'm going to say 3 or 4 of the performance standards within grade 6, because at this point it's more of learning about it than necessarily playing or. And if you look at the music standards, it's extremely specific. It's like, you will perform this with a 1/4 8 count, words I don't know. It was super specific when it came to music, and they felt that that wasn't what this course was trying to do. So they did remove some of those standards. They also wanted to have opportunities to bring in guest speakers, and they wanted that as part of the financial request, as well as the possibility of going on field trips if it worked out for them. I'm going to catch my breath. So far, so good?
Great.
Okay. Medical detectives. This is a Project Lead the Way course. So as we've heard, or as we heard from students, it was, we want more courses like engineering. We want hands-on. When this was shared on the February early release with the middle school teachers, I had them do kind of a grounding exercise where I said, tell me about one of your favorite experiences as a middle school student. Like from 8 to 5 or 8 to 3, this isn't about the dances or, let's talk about school. And they said woodworking and building the birdhouse and home ec and hands-on, that's what our adults remember too. And so medical detectives and computer science for innovators and makers are also Project Lead the Way courses. They're gateway courses, just like automation and robotics and design and modeling. We put those two together and call them engineering for grade 7. So teachers would go through specific training. As you notice, this course of study looks, and the computer science one look a little different because it's exactly from Project Lead the Way's work. And so they will be detectives, and they're going to be exploring the biomedical sciences through hands-on projects and labs that require students to solve a variety of medical mysteries. And they'll be investigating activities related to forensics, medicine, crime scene investigation, dissection of preserved specimens, diagnosis of infectious diseases, and collecting experimental data. And this aligns with our health pathway. That was also very important in the feedback that we got, that we are helping students to explore these opportunities as middle schoolers as they work to make selections moving up in high school. The engineering course, well, let me jump down to computer science, actually, to kind of keep that in mind. So students will discover computer science concepts. So we do have computer science principles in computer science A, AP Computer Science A in our high schools, so this helps to build that foundation as well. They'll be creating personally relevant and tangible and shareable projects. So this is, the first unit in this course is an intro to coding, and then it's kind of making something work, and then they're putting it all together in a variety of choices of a culminating activity. So it's much more that intro to coding.
Just a quick question. Did you say what potential grade level that course was for?
I don't believe I did. So both medical detectives and computer science for innovators and makers would be 7th grade courses, and they're designed to be quarter-long courses.
Okay.
As we've looked, it would be our hope that medical detectives is offered next year, and then computer science for innovators and makers is offered in 2021.
Okay, thanks. I just think it'd be helpful for people to know kind of what grade we're targeting, kind of the rollout process.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes, no, thank you. That's a great clarifying question. Engineering Extreme, it was called Advanced Engineering, and the overwhelming feedback was that's super boring. So Engineering Extreme is where we landed. We even, and I'll say at middle school curriculum council, people were allowed to put Post-it notes, and I said, okay, you guys can think of a better name, because the overwhelming feedback is, so when we voted, we said, name to be determined later, and they were appreciative. So growing from the course students experience in grade 7, our engineering course, students will be challenged to develop their own solutions to real-world problems while incorporating advanced technology and tools. So with the teachers, and we met with the engineering teachers at least twice, and while they loved the engineering course, they said our kids really learn how to use all of the resources and all of the equipment, but now they get to use it more and how they want to. And I think that was so important. So, that skill is really developed, and we currently have all of our students taking the engineering course in grade 7. So this would be an elective 8th grade course. And also we think that will help feed our engineering pathway at the high school, because right now that's a void for us. And so students get really excited about taking this in 7th grade and then don't have an opportunity to do that currently. So, and I will say that all of the teachers have been absolutely amazing. The engineering teachers really said that this would be a great opportunity for them, and as you read about it, if you look at it and you're thinking, okay, this doesn't have a whole lot of meat like other content does, but it's talking about the design process and what does it mean to be an engineer, and habits of mind, and project management, collaboration. And so it's really about that. And, there'll be some teacher autonomy and student autonomy. Do you want to do this project as a group? Do you want to do it as a pair? Do you want to do it individually? And really working through the design process in that way. So that's been another exciting opportunity. The last I have on my list is a health course. There's a lot. And we currently have a wellness course that was half health and half PE. It was an elective course. And a lot of our parents, a lot of our teachers said, we need health. We need a health course in middle school. We had a lot of debate on where that class should land. It's landed also in grade 7. And we've just pared down, so we've removed the PE component of the wellness course for health, got feedback from the health teachers, and it's social emotional health, healthy relationships, nutrition, substance abuse, and reproductive health are the major units for that course. Again, a quarter in grade 7. And we did have a health PE teacher on the middle school design committee, which was also very helpful.
That's one I'm looking at right now, and I was going to highlight. I appreciate you reading through. I'm sorry to interrupt you a couple of times here. I want people to hear the content standards for just the social emotional health piece. Keep in mind that these are middle school students, and we know the struggles that they have. They're going to be talking about and dealing with healthier ways of dealing with stress, learning communication skills, dealing with social media. Nobody needs that. Mental disorder, coping skills, and self-harm. This is needed in elementary school. It might be needed sooner than that, but just let me give that. And what did I say? That they need it now in elementary school? They need it in middle school. They have it in middle school. Did I say something wrong?
You were talking about.
I
this
misspoke,
is-
didn't I?
Yeah, and it's not a big deal. It's just the middle school course of study we're talking about, yes. But you're
forget
absolutely
everything.
right.
I'm sorry.
That's all.
I was following you, and I'm with you, yes.
I-
And we could probably use it in elementary school also, so
I think that's
yes.
what I meant.
Okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to highlight one piece of it, because I am so thrilled with the work that you all have done.
Thank you. And I do think that making this a required course for all students is really important to our teachers. I mean, when we say health, the eyes get bigger and all the heads nod. And so that's been good feedback. We do have a K-5 health curriculum, and I could pull out the social emotional. And I think it was a misspoke. You misspoke, but I could look that up too. That wouldn't be bad to reflect on that. And I was here, and it's recorded, for posterity, perhaps. I don't know. So, you're welcome. Questions, comments? It's been super exciting. It's been a lot of work. It's been some of the best work we've done. I mean, that I've personally had an opportunity to be involved in. So thank you for that.
So as I look at these, I'm just thrilled that kids are not going to be sitting behind desks. The first thing I saw was movement, and I really, really appreciate that because our middle school kids need to move. Along with, they get to learn some really neat things, and I like how it leads into the high schools, the pathways there, but it gives them a little bit of taste in middle school. This is phenomenal. Thank you very much. It's good stuff.
Been a great team.
I want to go back a little bit, and I'm not talking just about these courses. I just thought I would use it to go back a little bit. The report that we had in November and the work that has been going on in the district for the past year and a half related to middle school design is extraordinarily important and also extraordinarily exciting. As we look at what's going on with middle school design, the work is divided into 3 predominant chunks. One is organization and structure, one is curriculum instruction, and the other is social emotional learning. And the reason we have those three predominant chunks is because we are focused on really paying attention to the whole child at the middle school level. Sadly, years ago, in a severe economic downturn that the district was involved in, a number of things were sliced from the middle school program. And that left us with a program that, while a lot of kids did really well in, we knew it could be much stronger, much more focused on that whole child, and much more effective for the development of all children across the spectrum. So as we've engaged in middle school redesign, at this point in time, we are only now getting to the concrete point where things need to be put into place, like these courses of study and the structures that will be put into play. Middle school redesign is a phase-in, and we will be beginning with 6th grade. And obviously, as these courses roll into play, that's part of the phasing in as we move to different grades, as well as 6th grade. One of the speakers raised an issue about teaming. Teaming is one of the things that our middle school teachers, many of our middle school teachers, were most upset to lose in past years. We've had teaming before. Teaming actually gives us a much greater opportunity to meet the needs of our kids and meet their diverse needs, as well as to meet the professional needs of our teachers in working together. I am really looking forward to the potential of bringing teaming back into the middle school, and starting with 6th grade, moving that forward. If we're able to do that, it would be a huge step forward for the middle school program and for all of the kids within it. It is a way of structuring the day and structuring instructional delivery that provides much greater opportunity for individualization and much greater opportunity for teachers to take the instruction in ways that make better sense for the kids on their team. I'm looking forward to that. I'm particularly looking forward to the implementation of these courses as we look at expanding access and opportunity for our students at the middle school level. Courses like these open doors and engage kids in ways that we can't do right now. These courses help us do that, just as the structure helps us do that, and just as working with social emotional needs of our students will help us do that. So when we talk about what's been going on, our professionals have been working to ensure that what we are designing is implementable, is doable, and does have a phase-in across years as we look at dollars and needs. Now is indeed the time that we need to begin strong communication on this. There's been, board presentation and so forth. PTAs have had conversations. The principals have been talking. The staff have all met to discuss this, in addition to the about 50 people who've been engaged in the work thus far. In the early days of this lengthy effort, there were parent groups at each school who came in and discussed with us their needs and desires, and overwhelmingly, the focus was on opportunities for kids and working with the whole child. That is something we all agree on, and something that this process is taking us much further along the path toward getting that done. So I know it's much more than about the courses of study that I was talking about, but I wanted to make sure that people understand that there is a great deal of work going on, that it is highly thought out, and that now is indeed the time when there will be significant communication points coming into play.
I'm going to jump in and add on to one thing, and then I'm going to ask Mr. Reeves to come up and answer some questions, if that's okay. But probably one of the reasons why parents haven't heard about it is because we're just learning about it. And until we vote on things, they typically don't like to present them to the public unless we're going to support them. So that's just one reason why. Mr. Reeves, will you talk a little bit about the beginning journey and where this started and the partnership?
Thank you. So we started this journey, as Dr. Nestor Baker said. We knew that our middle school programming was one that we wanted to build, and so we began, and Ms. Duffy, one of the things that you had asked earlier was about, did we partner with anyone? And yes, we brought in Battelle for Kids to come and help guide our work with this, and they helped us last year. They've been incredible because we don't always have the time to devote to this work that they do. So we engaged Battelle for Kids both last year and this year to help us design this work. And a lot of it last year, as Dr. Nestor Baker said, was inquiry. We talked to nearly every staff member at the middle school. We talked to groups of parents at every middle school. We talked to the kids at every grade level at every middle school. And so that's kind of the natural delineation into the work that was done this year. And there's a lot of dominoes that kind of needed to fall before we can just shout the trumpet, and someone said we should be shouting to the hills. And we are really close, and you can tell how excited we are to shout the work that we're going to and the opportunities that we're going to provide our middle school kids very shortly. But some of those dominoes need to fall, like courses need to be officially approved before we go out to the public and say, hey, we're going to have this, this, this. And the board will say, what do you mean? We haven't approved anything yet. A lot of the structure of what we're going to do in our day regarding teaming or our schedule is dependent upon some of this approval. And so as I was sharing a little earlier with Dr. Kellogg, and as Dr. Nestor Baker alluded to, so I am scheduled to sit down with parent council. They meet here once a month. I'm scheduled to sit down with parent council in April, and we're going to have an absolute communication tool that we are going to provide parents and the parent council. I am also meeting with the elementary principals in April so that they can give the correct information to their 5th grade parents, and we're preparing for the moving up nights that are coming up so that all of our middle schools can provide the parents. We are looking to have a web presence so parents can very easily go onto our website and find out all the information and even the research behind all the things that we've been doing. So we're really close to just broadly communicating this out, but a couple of the dominoes officially had to fall before. It'd be like putting the cart before the horse a little bit.
That's great. Thank you.
It's Scott's birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Scott Reeves.
Thank you. 35, again, and again, and again. Thank you. Any other questions?
Dr. Kellogg, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think Jen and Scott did a nice job. And in terms of the role of the consultant, and it's process defined, right? Not course specific. I think Ms. Duffy had asked about that. So specific to these courses, this is internal. This is us and what we want to do. That's not from the consultants. And they've done a nice job of reaching out to people. We appreciate the board's support of this. Again, as you're looking at it, you know, bottom line is we're implementing new coursework, implementing teaming at 6th grade to address some transition issues with 6th grade and then provide a better avenue for delivering the curriculum. We're adding FTE to support all that, and all those changes in middle school are being done within the confines of the current 5-year forecast. So we're trying to take the resources we have, stretch them as best we can to meet those needs. And so there's really, I know there's some would like us to be going faster in some of this, but we have to pace it out against the resources we have available. So there'll be some phase in a piece of this. It also gives us time to the question of the teaming model and what's the impact is. We know we have a problem in the 6th grade transition. We see it in all kinds of data. It's very similar to the 8th grade to 9th grade transition, right? And so a lot of this effort is to improve the performance of 6th grade and seeing, one, as we work with our teachers, which will start this summer and the next year ongoing with our principals on the teaming and how we want that to work, put the structures in place and how to effectively use that time. So as we grow in our practice and implementation of teaming, we'll be able to collect data, see its impact on students before we start thinking about whether or not we want to implement further in other grades. We don't want to implement something, see results that don't change, that cost taxpayers money, additional money beyond where we're at. So we're taking baby steps along the way. Team's done a fantastic job. I want to take some of these courses. Particularly anything with a large X in it called extreme. Engineering extreme sounds like bungee cord jumping off the roof of Heritage or something. It's going to be fun. So excited for the new courses. Appreciate the support of the board in doing this. And again, as Scott said, communication plan, here we come. So we're rolling.
Thank you both very much.